And today, July the 14th, marks the bicentennial of the French Revolution. It's expected to be a day favourable to the home riders. After 45 miles, the race crosses the River Rhône. But the pace itself doesn't pick up until the pack starts to head south. The strong wind is now at their backs. Suddenly there's an attack by race leader Laurent Fignon and third place Motte. They gain 50 seconds in an amazing move. Delgado and Le Mans lead the chase for 25 miles. And the leaders regroup 16 miles before the finish, which is in Marseille. But in warm, sunny conditions, the pace is always hot as well. The citizens of Marseille are celebrating their Bastille Day in the traditional manner. And appropriately, the news from the race is an attack by a French rider, Vincent Barteau, one of Fignon's teammates. He breaks clear on the final hill. He then cruises into the old port at Marseille, a minute ahead of the pack, to score a sympathetic victory. Barteau's stage win enlivens the bicentennial celebrations, which continue long into the night. This long 14th stage up into the foothills of the Alps takes place on another hot day. The early pace is not surprisingly slow. And a break by former mountain king Herrera with Frenchmen Marc Madiot and Jérôme Simon is allowed to gain 6 minutes. But the pack chases them down before the finishing gap. Where, in the final mile, stage 4 winner Jelle Nijdam bursts into the lead and scores another solo success just 2 seconds ahead of the rest. And there's another yellow jersey for Laurent Fignon. But his lead is in definite danger on the 24 miles mountain time trial up to Merlet. This is a big day for Delgado, and as he sets out on his time trial, he thinks about the remaining 2 minutes and 53 seconds that separate him from the yellow jersey. After 2 miles on flat roads, Delgado starts the course's first climb. It's 4 miles long. This challenging course seems to be built for the Spaniard. Following this initial climb and descent, there's 10 miles of flat before a 5-mile haul to the Merlet finish. Also emerging as a contender is another Spanish veteran, Marino Lajareta, who is destined to take second place today. Fastest of all is Steven Rooks, the 1989 runner-up, who is slowly climbing his way back into contention. He records the best time yet. It's 1 hour, 10 minutes and 42 seconds. Another contender is Charlie Motte, trying perhaps too hard and is heading for only 14th place. In contrast, Kelly is having a super day and will come in 6th, only 17 seconds behind Delgado. But of course, the main focus is on Greg LeMond, who is still only 7 seconds behind Laurent Fignon on overall time. The French race leader is well aware of his vulnerability as well. Laurent starts impressively. He has again fitted the aero handlebars, planning to use them on the flat section between the course's two climbs. The American knows he's within a few seconds of Delgado's time, and he sprints in with a time just 8 seconds slower than the Spaniard. Meanwhile, Fignon isn't looking comfortable at all on the climbs. His style is ungainly, and although he's faster than Motte, 10th place, 47 seconds slower than Laurent, is worse than Fignon feared. So the yellow jersey is back on the American's shoulders. Staying in the Alps, the first of 4 mountain stages set out from Gap. At the start, Greg LeMond strikes up a conversation with former teammate Andy Hampsten. But there's no time for chatting in this speeding line of riders as they cross the Serre-Ponçon reservoir. The breakaways begin, and 18 riders gain 6 minutes before the first mountain pass, the Col de Var. Swiss champion Richard, in the blue is Bruno Cornier of France, and they split from the lead group. They quickly gain time on the others as they tackle the 7 miles of climbing. The pace in the main pack is steady on the approach to the Var. Richard, the Swiss champion, and Cornier still maintain a 6 minutes lead. While behind, Greg LeMond has a flat tyre. He's given a wheel by his teammate Eddie Plankett. Quickly, the yellow jersey moves back towards the peloton. As the leaders approach the 7,000 feet summit, it's Cornier who sets the pace. Behind, there's a counterattack being launched by Alcala. LeMond on the right, Delgado, Ternissa, Laharetta and Hampsten are also here. The name missing, Laurent Fignon. The Frenchman is desperately leading a chase group and is not receiving any help from Alcala's PDM teammates, Rooks and Kelly. Cornier is the best placed of the 2 leaders, although his 18 minutes deficit makes him no threat to the race overall. He sprints ahead and takes the mountain prize. Behind, Miller has managed to join the Alcala counterattack. But where is the Fignon group? Here they come, led by Fignon, just about 30 seconds back. It's a serious situation for Fignon, but luckily for him, his teammate Thierry Marie has dropped back from the original breakaway group to help his leader close the gap on the descent. Meanwhile, the focus returns to the leaders. And after Fignon rejoins LeMond, Richard and Cornier heads through the feed zone at Guiest. They again stretch their lead to more than 6 minutes. The wind remains favourable in the gorge approaching the day's main obstacle, the mighty Col d'Izoire. Approaching the village of Arvieux, 6 miles from the summit, the main pack has reformed. In front, on the steepest part of the twisting climb, Richard rides away from Cornier. And he won't look round until the finish line in Briançon. It's still 16 miles away. The Col d'Izoard is a legend in Tour history. Everybody would like to lead here. The huge crowds always flock to see the action on the Izoard, which has seen some legendary battles in previous tours. It's the mountain where two past champions are remembered, Fausto Coppi and Lewis and Bobet. Cornet is steadily losing ground on Richard, but he's in no danger of being caught by the small chase group being led by Motte, Tournisser and, in yellow, Greg LeMond. Delgado makes his expected attack, still trying to make up his 2 minutes 48 seconds deficit on the race lead. But the yellow jersey is still in control of this particular situation. The action behind has meant that Richard's lead has been cut to only 5 minutes, and his time now to bask in the glory of his energetic breakaway as he approaches the 7,700-foot summit. Fignon is again struggling, and only LeMond, Motte and Tournisser have caught up with Delgado. Just before the top, Charlie Motte sprints ahead. And he continues his effort to attack the long technical descent on his own, while Fignon desperately tries to close his 10 seconds deficit on Greg LeMond. The Swiss champion is already down the steepest part of the descent, just the finish to come. And behind, LeMond links up with Charlie Motte in an opportunist attack to beat Fignon. They career around the corners at over 50 miles an hour, inching their way clear of Delgado and the rest. But the French ace Laurent Fignon simply won't give up. The finish in Briançon is up a viciously steep climb, which proves no problem for the runaway Richard. But for Laurent Fignon, well, he's still in desperate trouble in pursuit of the other leaders. Richard wins the stage with a lead of over 2 minutes on Bruno Cornier, who didn't get caught by the field. While the leaders take their battle to the finishing hill as well, Motte and LeMond have been recaught by Delgado, Tournisser, Roux and Marshal Gaillon of France. But Fignon still can't quite make contact. Fignon is just behind. A few valuable seconds being conceded. It's Charlie Motte who sprints away for third place on the stage ahead of Greg LeMond. And the seconds tick by, until in fact 13 will have passed before Laurent Fignon comes across the line. And who was to know how valuable those few seconds might be? Greg LeMond was now 53 seconds in front of the Frenchman, and once more a memorable battle had been produced at the citadel of Briançon. On stage